Namaste. Welcome to yoga today. So, for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be really working with meditation, trying to deepen our practice to become better meditators, to be able to hone that wonderful skill. So, how are we going to do it? Well, there are three qualities or ways of being that are super helpful when you're a meditator. And the first one is precision, being precise, being good at everything you do when you sit to meditate. And, it's something that anybody who is good at anything that they do is because they have learned to be precise. I had the wonderful pleasure of going to see Lang Lang, the Chinese pianist, last night. What an experience. I mean, he was just outstanding. And, a great opportunity to see the value of precision. He played the Bach Goldberg variations, and he has spent 20 years practicing them before he started to play them in public. Think of the precision that goes with practicing something for 20 years and getting better and better and better so that he can do it without any music, the whole thing, that it's a part of his whole being. He is so steeped in it. And you can't bring the joy, the tenderness, the passion, the power of the music to the experience without the initial precision. So it's a very basic building block. Like one of my son and daughter my son decided he wanted to learn Taekwondo. And I used to drop him off with a friend, and my daughter would be with us. And she went for about 6 weeks and watched him doing Taekwondo. And after 6 weeks, she said, "Mom, I think I'd like to do this." And so she started doing it. And not that long afterwards, they did their first test where you go from being a white belt to being a yellow belt. And so they'd been practicing 6 weeks longer than her. But when they tested, she outranked them immediately. Why? Because of her precision. When the teacher said, this is where you put your foot, she watched him carefully and she put her foot in exactly the same place. Whereas the boys were kind of, close is good, somewhere by, but she watched so carefully. So that's what we're talking about, precision. How do we bring precision to meditation? And then there are two other wonderful gifts that we're going to look at more over the next couple of weeks, but they're important to have a sense of from the beginning, is gentleness and letting go. So that's what we want to be able to incorporate into whatever, into your meditation practice. We're going to look at it from the Buddhist tradition and look at it in a mindful breathing practice to get a sense of it. But I'm hoping that the qualities are something that you can find beneficial in any meditation, or almost all meditation. There may be exceptions, but I think that's, I think you'll get a real strong sense if one of these qualities is needed in your normal meditation practice. When we sit and meditate, we begin to get to know ourselves better. We get to see what our minds are doing. We get to see what our body's doing. Because so often when you sit, your body, not so comfortable. So you sit to meditate and then, something's a bit not quite right and you can't sit straight. You can't sit comfortably. So you begin to notice. That's why yogis do postures. They do postures so that they can sit to meditate without being distracted. So we get to know our minds better and our emotions, the way that they behave. We get to see, because all these things will come up for you, we get to see our domestic situation, the way we live on a daily basis, our job, our way of life, the people in our lives, the way we relate to them. All of these things parade before us when we sit to meditate. They come up. So we get to see how we react to all those things as they go by, our thoughts and our emotions, and get to see them as they are in that very moment. See them precisely. Oh, I was angry there, or I was afraid there. So we have to watch with a little gentleness so we don't scare ourselves. So we want to discover these innate qualities that we have within, that someone like Lang Lang demonstrates so beautifully. You know, that precision means that he plays the right notes at the right time, consistently, time and time again. And in that precision and consistency, something wonderful happens. So when we sit to meditate, we're not really looking to improve ourselves. You are already the new and improved you. It's there, it's within you. So we're not looking to make ourselves better than we are sitting here today. You know, it's like if you have a bad temper, and let's face it, most of us have a bad temper. Some of us have a little short fuse and our bad temper shows often. Some of us have a very long fuse and our bad temper doesn't show so often. But unless you realize it's in there, it's in there. And so if you have that within you, just sitting and, you know, and meditating and never looking at it isn't going to change it. You can meditate for a day or a month or a years and have it not change. Because really what we want to do is to get to know it, to see it. Oh, look at that. Just notice it. Befriend it. You know, there's no point noticing it and being mad about it. You just be more angry. Just notice it and accept it. This is a part of who you are. And in fact, the desire to get rid of it is a fundamental form of aggression that we have within us. I'm not okay the way I am. I need to fix this. Drive to do that. So what we want to do really is to look at our qualities that we're not happy about and befriend them, accept them, be honest. You know, if we push them under the carpet, pretending they're not, oh no, I'm never angry. You know, oh, we never argue. Push it all down, pretend it's not there. It's not successful. Let's have a little look. Can we accept it that this is honestly what's going on in this being? So we look at it, and that gentleness is so helpful in that moment. So we're not repressing our anger, pushing it back down, but we're also, pretending we don't have it, but we're also not expressing it by being angry. So it's like pretending we're not angry or being angry are not good solutions. We want to sit and witness it, see your anger, see your fear, see your hurt, your jealousy, your pain, your depression, your anxiety, whatever it is. If you think, we're so unconscious at times, we think we don't have those qualities, and they're sitting there. We're like looking the other way, hoping we don't get to see them. So once you befriend that, what we very often think of as negative qualities, but actually carry a lot of wonderful energy behind them. So once we fully acknowledge that and are honest to ourselves about it, then we can begin this process of letting go. But you can't let go of something you can't acknowledge. You won't get over your anger and your depression unless you can see it and sit gently with it. So, what a beautiful way to live, to accept yourself as you are, not trying to get rid of things you don't like, but rather make friends. Get to know it so completely with this subtle gentleness. Then you can begin to let it go. So we're going to do this process as we meditate. And this is a meditation many of you will know. It's a beautiful mindfulness breathing meditation. And we want to feel like we are doing this practice with the precision of my daughter doing Taekwondo, or of the great Lang Lang learning Bach's variations for 20 years, getting better and better and better as his precision increases. So let's meditate together. So first of all, take a good posture. Sit with your spine straight. Don't let your head go too far back. Let your chin just relax down a little. Is your body comfortable? And what we're going to do as we meditate is very simple. Focus on the out breath. Touch it gently. Be with it as it leaves your body. And that's it. It takes a lot of precision to just be with every out breath. Don't worry about anything else. And we'll do that for about 5 minutes. Don't try to control the breath, manipulate it in any way. Don't even try to make it even, just be with it. Now we're going to add to the practice. When you notice your thinking, just say to yourself, thinking. This also requires a precision. Just labeling it thinking. If you wander off, almost like a dream, mind drift, and you realize you've been thinking, immediately come back to the breath. And if you forgot to label it thinking, pause, label it, and carry on. Just thinking, no more, no less. We'll do that for the next 5 minutes. Gentle touch on the out breath and labeling thinking and letting it go. And just gently bringing your awareness back down through the whole of your being, the body, mind and emotions, the breath, the life force, and into your physical body. Relax, tensing and relaxing your arms and legs, and just tipping your body from side to side, making smaller arcs until you're sitting straight. And gently either moving your head from side to side, or if you have no neck problems, gently rotating, first in one direction, and then in the opposite direction. And gently opening your eyes. So there's two parts of this that help us to develop that precision, that consistency. Just bringing the attention lightly to the out breath. And then when a thought arises, thinking. Let it go. Well, I hope you found that practice wonderful, and it gives you a way of a way of focusing in your meditation to help you to do it with greater ease. So, and we'll be looking next week at this idea of that gentle touch that's needed. So we'll be focusing more on that next week. And I had a wonderful opportunity this week to see a glimpse of this practice in my day-to-day life. I was talking to one of my daughters about Thanksgiving, and she had said to me, "Mom, I'm going to do Thanksgiving this year." So, and she says, "Yeah, you only have one job to do." So I said, "Okay, that's fine." And then that was the last I heard of it. And so I was started in my mind to think about, oh, I should better think about what I'm going to do here. And if she's not going to do it, how many people, who we're going to invite. And so my mind's starting to make these plans. And so I said something to her about it. And she says, "Mom, are you doing Thanksgiving this year?" And I said, "No." And she said, "So you can let it go. It's just thinking. It's gone." She said, "Because I'll do it or I won't." And she said, "Either way, you're fine." So it was just that little moment of realizing we do it all the time. We get bogged down in our great mind drifts and plans in our heads. And that just like that, we can let them go. Namaste. Have a wonderful time with this practice. Jai.